Skcalalas versus New Heights Gaming. Prosy against his own teammates from 2025. Now with a new roster, the draft is rolling in. Chuck for the first time not been out on Heist, immediately picked up from the left-hand side. And Pedro, what we usually like to say here, Chuck is kind of like a timer. He will do damage eventually, so you have to go up against him with either a lot of damage or defend him with a Cordelius or an Otis, for example.
Yeah, I think more about how to defend the Chuck. We need to know that the SKCs are Chuck specialists. So they probably will have a really good main Chuck, but also for sure they know how to defend and give that time that we are talking for the Chuck, right? They will have Charlie, maybe Crow, maybe Otis to give the time to Chuck to do damage.
But if they are a Chuck specialist, why don't you ban him against them?
I expected him the NHG to ban it. Surprisingly, probably they are ready to, they insta-pick it, so they are ready to bury Melody to it enough.
Yeah, you see these picks come in lightning fast from NHG, and also look at this, they banned out Otis. They're determined to bait this Chuck pick out of SKC. So that leads me to believe that this was planned in advance, which goes very contrary to what we were saying earlier about them not having something planned. So some of the neurons are starting to fire. I'm starting to make some of the connections. Did NHG believe in themselves so much that they can make it through that quarterfinal that they're making a stab at the grand finals?
Charlie to address the Pierce with her spawners, and then Kaze to address the Barry. It seems like they have the perfect matchup here, have counters to the brawlers of the side of NHG. But overall, we just have a lot more damage on the right-hand side. With that Melody, once she's unsafe, NHG is going to take the set.
Yeah, I didn't like the Kaze last pick. I think once you have the Chuck, you don't need any other aggression on the safe. I don't know if the Kaze is the best to stop the healing comp. And I think they're going to suffer a lot. Once they get on the save, they're going to get the damage enough to kill the team.
Here comes the healing. It's keeping Prosy and Winona alive and healthy, but that reload speed is starting to hurt just a little bit. Prosy dodges that last yo-yo from P.E.K.K.A, but stood in the path of the Chuck. You just can't be doing that. It's all the damage in the world on NHG's safe so far. It's going to be a bit of damage and super fed to Wesley as well, but the posts are set up. The Chuck is there. The first shield is cracked, and SKC are in motion.
Yeah, 10 seconds after the game started, the Chuck was already full setup. It's you cannot let that happen, especially when you have something like Melody or Berry that put a lot of pressure on early, right? So that's a really good start for NHG.
Skcalalas, they're feeling the heat. NHG are on their safe now. Winona dashing around has those notes going in a circle. Just 7.1k HP remaining. Wesley's also trying to hold the line over here, but the tempo lead is also present. 5% separates SKC from falling in this very first game. We'll see a hypercharge from KR to attempt that defense. Winona pretty much allowed to pass through uncontested.
I don't know if P.E.K.K.A stopped moving there, but yeah, I mean, it's we could see that once New Heights get to the enemy safe, they got I think three shields, right? It's insane. So yeah, they need to stop that from the beginning, get at least one kill, so the other 2v2 can be winnable.
How fast is that Chuck going to set up this time is what I wonder. Are they going to prevent the full post setup within just 10 seconds is what you called it last time, Pedro. We'll see 1, 2. That's pretty much what you expect from RHZ. Meanwhile, Winona has made it to the enemy safe. Skcalalas SA have lost their first shield before the Chuck has gotten set up. That is the entire strategy here. You have to outpace the Chuck because the Chuck victory is inevitable. You just have to outspeed it.
Yeah, I think it's really hard watching this first game for Chuck to win this, right? He don't have enough damage. Sadly, the Charlie is not Charlie at this point. But I mean, yeah, I mean, anyway, it's a really hard spot for SKC.
Just not doing the thing that she's supposed to do. And even when you are Charlie, those Melody notes are still going to exist. Once she's inside the cocoon, she'll still deal damage to the safe. It's really just a matchup that you go for when there's nothing better. Here comes the hypercharge from Winona. Impact and devastation. But Prosy is here. That ice cream's going to chip away at the safe and get one set secured in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, they are putting a lot of communication there to push all together. Once they are all together with the Berry especially alive, the Melody can do insane amount of damage. The Berry can heal the teammate at the same time that he's doing a lot of damage. So yeah, they did really good.
I want to know what you think about this Charlie, though. Charlie into the Melody. It feels like a lot of times it's not really the greatest matchup, even though that's what you kind of had to go for because you can cocoon Melody, but if she's on top of your safe, she's going to keep dealing damage with the nodes.
Yeah, I mean, the Charlies on paper should be a good tool to stop the Melody. You need to be careful when to put the cocoon, right, have you said. But I think, yeah, I think he couldn't, like, commit.
Yeah. Real tough one. You can see it on the stats as well. 0% damage because, of course, Charlie's job is not to get damage on the enemy safe. That's sort of Christian and RHZ's job on their respective brawlers. On the other side, however, it is devastation and desolation at the hands of Melody and Barry. So much damage, but that's what you come to expect in this composition. And we went into this, Pedro, with you sort of favoring the aggressive healing type composition as well anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's as I said, they need to really play together. They need to try to surprise the enemy team, and that's what they did. Yeah.
No, it's gaming taking that first set. Definitely not something I had on my bingo card today. But with Eternal already making it through to the grand finals, might as well have two completely new teams. The season has just started. This is the very first month of the BSC, and we've seen so many new teams making it all the way through. I'm so hyped for this year.
No, it's very exciting to see a team like New Heights Gaming come out of the woodwork. And really, my main reason for predicting them to go this far is just because you have Prosy at the helm of the operation. They've already taken one set off of SKC, which has already blown me away. I was expecting them to, or like kind of expecting them to win their quarterfinal to start off this way versus SKC, just not in my expectations at all. So I'm likewise excited for the following sets, see if they can keep this draft going because it looked really consistent and solid into SKC.
Kenny was mentioning it earlier, how especially in this region, we kind of had the top two with Loud and Skcalalas, and then everybody else. And now Loud's already not in the grand final. It looks like SKC's also not going to be there. I think that opens up a whole new conversation on maybe those older rosters with more experienced players are just experiencing that the newer teams, the newer players like Guesty, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of that tomorrow, are bringing in some fresh wins. They have new ideas. They're playing a completely different Brawl Stars, and those older rosters don't really know how to handle that.
I think when we see this kind of new teams, remembering me a lot to last year to Novo, right? These are teams, young players that are not afraid of trying new stuff, are not afraid to exploit the meta, to play this weird comp with Berry on Heist, with Dag, with exploit the Oli a lot. And that's really good because they bring some new blood, new fresh ideas, new fresh meta, and it's really good. And we really need to learn from that. Yeah, we cannot be these all teams that still do what all people do, right? We need to refresh ourselves, and that's really good.
We've seen that especially in Guesty last week, and I feel he played fearless. He played even the Pierce, like a sniper brawler in the most aggressive way possible, was always in the opponent's face. He grew up with Brawl Stars compared to many of those Loud players, for example, SK players. He's just bringing in some new ideas and nobody really knows how to play up against it.
They'll figure out eventually. in time, and they'll learn the hard way as well. I think all eyes are going to be on him now, just as I think New Heights Gaming is going to be a far more respected opponent after this one. So they need to capitalize on this moment, really give it their best shot, as if they'd give it anything less. But this is really their moment to get ahead on points before they have a target painted on their back in the following months.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all teams need to get used to all this new fresh stuff. We have faced so many, not guesties, but so many guesties, so many new players that come, right? And yeah, I mean, it's really important to adapt yourself.
Not only with new players, we also have some new brawlers coming into Brawl Stars. And the Brawl Talk now finally aired, and we can talk about this new brawler. We now have 100 brawlers in the game. It's a super exciting thing, and the team definitely has worked hard to make this one a bit special. We had a little bit of an outlook on Sirius, and it's a brawler that is going to bring super new mechanics into the game because you can control the shadows of your opponents. Up to 3 opponents' brawlers are with you on the field.
If you like RTS, I'm sure you're going to like controlling all of your minions that you earn, empowering them also with the gadget. It'll be an interesting one for sure in the future. Heck, we don't even have Globert in the game yet. I think there's a lot to look forward in the next month of Brawl Stars. But bringing back to the here and the now, we're kicking things off.
On Bell's Rock, we're waiting for the first pick here from the side of New Heights Gaming. Sirius is going to be coming into the game. I do want to know your opinion, Pedro. Do you feel like which of the maps is he going to be the best, or which mode?
Serious.
Yes.
I think it's not about the map, it's about the brawlers you have in front. We need to probably, all the players will need to try out what's the best shadow to get, right? Because it depends on the shadow, this depends on the strength, depends on the attack. So probably it's more about you waiting for the enemies to pick it. So you say, okay, let's say Bull. Okay, you pick Bull, so now I have a good shadow, so now I can pick Sirius, you know?
So I pick bad brawlers, so you can't pick Sirius to copy my good brawler.
Yeah, probably it's gonna be something around that, yeah, probably.
That's gonna change the meta and the draft so much.
Or imagine the opposite. You pick Sirius, you first pick Sirius, so I pick Penny, Sandy, Shelly. I'm not Shelly, like Penny, Sandy, Jessie, for example. And now you cannot get my brawlers. Or you can, but you don't have the value. I don't know, nothing like that, but something like close.
Penny's probably going to be super good into Sirius, just...
Of course, yeah,
her, because those shadows are always going to move in a pack. You can tell them where to go, but they're going to move together. I think you can't really split them up, right? So Penny's going to be super good against it.
I think you cannot, but always can happen like a Tara shadows because of walls or whatever, they split a bit. But yeah, probably, actually I was completely wrong. Brawlers like Sandy, like Penny, Jessie are going to be really good against him, but yeah.
Inside Pedro's mind, there's a little man running around and making notes on different virtual spreadsheets.
I mean, maybe when you get the player maining it, maybe they can even send the shadows there, then they get new shadows from there, so the shadows are split, you know? Because I think the shadows spawn on top of the brawler.
I think on Sirius, yeah.
So probably with the super you can tell them to go somewhere, and then when 3 of your shadows are there, then you spawn new shadows here. If you are really good, maybe the shadows you want there are not the same that you want here. So first you shoot to that brawler, then you send the shadow, then you shoot to bull brawlers. So you get the tanky shadows around you. I don't know. But seems really interesting.
You're already coming up with strategies on just how to use this new brawler the best way. We're just getting our players situated, by the way, so just bear with us for a second. I'm sure that SKC needed a little breather after that first set ready.
No, I think so. This may play to their advantage. Yo, way back when, there used to be like some pretty big delays between games. I remember SK specifically taking their time between the sets to stop the momentum.
That was always a lie. One day we will sit and talk about that day.
That was a lie? Well, we experienced it.
I mean... Yeah, another day. Topic of another day.
We're going to talk about this
But yeah, I mean, these long breaks are really important because they really need to be ready, don't lose the momentum. The one that is losing, the one that is winning, the one that is losing need to get all the team together and get ready for the new. So it's really important to use this momentum.
And they had some time now to cook up the draft, so we want to have a look at that now. Mortis is going to be banned out as well as Grey, so they do not want to see any aggressive comms coming out of Skcalalas. Rico, Pierce, and Mina are going to be banned out from the side of Skcalalas. 3 of the best brawlers on a map like Bell's Rock. I do like Jean. He's one of those flex brawlers we talked about, super good at the beginning of the match, and once he has his super, it's basically a guaranteed kill.
I want you to think about Jean's range right here that he has with the super, and then rotate that in a circle. That is basically the invisible radius of pressure that he has once he has that pull. So you need to be thinking about how can you possibly block it, essentially. So, stuff with spawnables, things with little gadgets or abilities that make them dash away are going to be very, very important here. And Spike is one of them. You could, throw down a life plane. It's not how it was before. You can throw it out in front of you, but you might want to spawn it under yourself so that Jean grabs the immobile cactus instead of the one that shoots stuff at you.
Yeah, I'm curious to what are they gonna pick in the mid, because most of the mid are banned. Like Rico is out, Mina is out, even Grey is out, and now if you want a thrower from part of SKC, you have the threatening of Jean pool, but I think they will need to go for a thrower to even risk it.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see a thrower coming in here on the left-hand side. I do like the Spike idea to put your gadget up against the Jean wherever he has a pull and play behind it. Now on the right-hand side, we have something to open up the map. Maybe some more long range comes in now. They have it also in the hand if they want to break open the map or not, so they can be the ones to pick a thrower. The other team can't really risk it here. It's not a thrower, it's quite the opposite.
I was going to say that the blue team could last pick a tick, right? Even if the open tick have range enough to play in open. But against the Frank now, it's going to be a bit more tricky.
it's not going to be fun to play into that Jhin either. Brock breaks open the walls, Jhin fully capitalizes on it, keeps you poked down low with the constant barrage of smoke at the end of his shot, and then eventually gets a super that will pull you through even indestructible elements on the map. So final selection, Thrower is still very viable here. You're just going to have fewer places you can stand around. You still got indestructibles to work with. Daryl, very interesting. One that a lot of times is actually on the forefront of my mind on Bell's Rock, but just lately has fallen off quite a bit. I think you also got to recognize that Daryl can afford to get blasted away by, say, the gadget from Jhin if he decides to knock you back. You still have another role to work with if you want to kill confirm, and of course the natural synergy that he has with Gus.
And Daryl is so good into the Frank because whenever he's aiming to finally have that super he's worked for all game, he's gonna get knocked back, and no super comes out of the brawler. So Daryl, I do like it into Frank. We don't see him too often, but it could work out here on Bell's Rock. Map number 2, Skcalalas versus New Heights Gaming.
Yeah, I love the Daryl pick. I think is really good. We don't see it too often, but when you see it, because he has a really, really good matchup, and this is the case. I think the only problem they have on early is that they need to hold enough so that Daryl get the super, right? They need to hold those 30 seconds that he takes to get the super, and I think Gus and Spike are good teammates to do that.
Well, and yes, a good thing that they're facing a Frank as well, who can walk towards the enemy side, but also has to hide behind some of these obstacles. So they're not fighting a 2v3 or anything like that. In fact, they've actually acquired a little bit of ground. Helps that Pekka has a super that he's earned by doing nothing, so technically he didn't earn it at all, but it exerts pressure on the enemy side. They're doing a good job of also staying away from Wesley, not feeding him super for free. He's gonna get it at some point, but it looks like Pekka and Christian are already thinking about what they're going to be doing when that poison gets a little too close. Winona also rotating over towards the right side. Everyone's crunched in on the right. That's the pull onto Pekka. One roll, make it 2, but there's no shield from Christian.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, they need to rotate. They won this one. They need to rotate, running away from the Jhin, right, duffing the Jhin, and just wait for the opportunity where they are stuck, and then the Daryl can come. In this case, was Wesley the one pulling the Daryl in, but anyway, he was going to be able to roll on them, and that was an insane spike super that hit all of them.
No, that was huge. Well, the poison closes everyone together, and then you have AoE. The area denial that offers keeps everyone on the outskirts, makes their positions really predictable so you can hit those shots consistently. But look at the wall break now. It is a Jhin's Paradise. That's the predictive gadget thrown out by Spike. Not going to be able to block it from now on. I think Prozy's probably thinking about pulling RHZ, but RHZ's being very cautious to stay on the outskirts.
Yeah, they did try to push on the early, but they were able to defend it, that we talked at the start, right? If they are able to hold, even if you have a Daryl on the team, hold the early, so they don't push you that back too much, and you're able to counter push, and then they have I think triple hypercharge, and they did really good.
Well done, SKC. They knew just what to do. They earned up their abilities. They had the Daryl in the right position. They had Daryl walk up aggro, just sort of wide walk forward into the Jhin, get pulled, no issue. The rest of them cleaned up nice and easy with the spike. We'll see if there's a different layout this time in terms of lane matchups.
Yeah, the draft is, for me, I really like it for SKC. It's really easy to work with that. It's really easy to make it work, and they are doing it. So they are playing really good and with a good draft, so they should not drop this set.
See if we'll catch any early game action here so far. Pekka has his super. Same goes for RHC. They're not being too hasty about it. New Heights Gaming also rotating their lanes, just trying to keep some action on Pekka. See if they can get him lower. Pekka in. It's an absolute bowling alley over here, but they survive. Got to give credit where credit is due. Wesley with the magic puffs. Ooh, a whiffed hand. It's not really that bad. A lot of wasted utility also for SKC. At least that spirit animal is going to be putting in the work. It's a takedown on Wesley. And 1 round in the books. They're just 1 away from taking the set.
I was going to say the insane amount of pressure that the Daryl does, just having the super and coming close slowly and slowly. He couldn't get the kill there, but he did pressure enough so the other two could hold the pressure and use the pressure to finish the kill.
And thankfully off of that push, he's also gotten a super back, so he'll be able to offer a bit more pressure here too. Can't really roll on Prozy, though Prozy's trying to make it really tempting because Prozy has to jump away, of course. It's not going to be too easy for Pekka to deal with. Excellent synergy from him and Christian. Pekka makes a beeline for the back lines. It's 2 shots on a Wesley to seal the deal. What a clinic put on by SKC. That was played perfectly.
Yeah.
What synergy.
Yeah, I think they were just waiting on I can imagine the voice chats, right? Just wait, and someone get the call. In this case, probably was the Daryl, and they really follow really good. They have that synergy. You could see that that's a lot of work behind it.
Oh, man. Yeah, think of all the hours that they spent just trying to get that timing right as well, getting that mutual understanding between the teammates to execute in this situation. They only had one hypercharge Gus Super to work with, and they made it work both times that it was online. Here is game number 1, where they just bowled through NHG, and then they did it again in the next one with this play right here.
And it's not only synergy, it's also about trusting your teammates, right? Trusting that Daryl is going to do his job. When you are Daryl, trusting that the spike is going to come behind you, that you are going to get the gas shield. Is all about the team play, and it's really good. Like, it was impressive.
No, and it seriously changes the way that you play as well. If you can trust in your teammates, then you're not trying to be the hero. You're not trying to go in solo and put yourself in these situations where you see a Daryl. Imagine you're in a ranked game, and your Daryl teammate rolls solo into 3 enemy brawlers. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm losing 150 elo right now. But no, far from the case. These guys are able to trust each other. They have this synergy. They've executed this play many times before in scrims.
Yeah, but we need to remember that they changed the player 3 days before qualifier, right?
Yeah,
so that's true. That's impressive. That means that also the new player that jump in, it's true that he was a Ratchet Theta teammate before, but he really knows what the team needs. He really understood the team idea, and they play really good together.
I couldn't agree more. So it's 1-1 in the match now. We saw New Heights Gaming surprise us all with getting that set 1 victory as efficiently as they did with a pretty hard outdraft on Safe Zone. That's one more in the books, of course, and we're headed over to Pinhole Punt for the equalizer. This set is going to put someone in the lead. Now, you've got a big ring of bushes. It's a bush map. You got speed gear to work with. So what brawlers are you looking at for bans, first picks?
Yeah, Nth, obviously. In this case, it's banned. So first pick, we could see maybe Pierce is banned to Mina. Okay, Mina, some aggressive. You have also already the aggression. So whatever it comes behind, you are free to defend of so many things, right?
Got a lot of mobility to work with. Brawl Ball people are guaranteed to die at some point, so you can go ahead and zoom over, take up that space, move everyone forward. Be the forward attacking brawler that everyone else can sort of follow the lead of. Spike, always a pretty solid defensive option. You'll also have good scouting in the bushes because Curveball spreads out so much. You've got vision gear to work with. Yeah,
I mean, you always need to have a bit of range in this map. You always have to not only have the pressure that Mina does, but having something that comes behind you, like a Byron or a Finks. Also, you need a bit of Finks.
There you go. There's a reason he's the coach for SK Gaming.
So yeah, also you can expect the red team is missing a bit of aggression, like a Mortis or I don't know, like Carl, maybe even, right? Something that can put the pressure that Mina is going to put on your teams, right?
Okay. So we have the Finks. That's also like pretty good for checking out those bushes, getting control of it. Also, now you have that radius that you can throw down, slow things down. Otis, another really, really safe selection. Just waiting for this final pick to come in. It might be possible that SKC go a bunch of safe brawlers without like a tank to execute, so that they can lock down this NHG draft so they don't face a tank on the last pick.
Yeah, maybe we can expect from SKC now to go maybe a Mo, maybe a Lumi, something that can help on the mid, but don't really need to be attached on the mid, like can push also on the lanes. If you could put the sample of the Lumi, okay, Crow is good to maybe hold the time that you expect from NSG. So yeah, I mean, I think can work. You have also a really good early game on the mid because you have double shield now. You have the Otis splash, so they have a decent early at this point.
No, this is very true. Yeah, Mina with her windmill has to be respected. Throws down the shield. It's impermeable pretty much. Meeple now is going to try and lock down the mid. You're able to break some of those bushes. You can trap people in there. You could combo that pretty well with Spike Super also. Put everyone in a world of pain with stick around down on the ground. So I see a lot of defense from pretty much everyone. Have to also wonder which gadget Meeple's going to run. I kind of said it as if it was just a, guarantee that he's going to run Meeple's Mansion, but could be running, I think it's called Rage Quit. But yeah, blast everyone away, stuns them briefly. That might also be a viable option here in Brawl Ball.
Yeah, but I think he will go more for the box. Okay. I think they are we can see in the draft they are putting a lot of effort on winning the early game, right? The box, yeah, we have seen the box.
There we go.
The spike gadget even helps a lot, and probably the spike is the one following the Mina, so Meeple should not need this too.
Okay, let's see it. Well, it's going to be a victory for Winona versus Christian on the right side. We'll see if there's a rotation over to Pekka. The idea is there, Winona actually decides to move back over towards mid, has a super in hand. Here's the Meeple's Mansion. Only one exit from this goal. And doesn't seem to be capitalized on too hard. Prosy moves in with a bunch of shots. Winona slides it through. It's the kill on the left side for Meeple that fully clears out the goal and gets this first one for NHG.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the star power of Spike. He's playing what used to be the heal one, right? Now it still heals, but a bit different, right? Now you heal when you hit with the super. That you also have with the Buffy, you have the fastest super, like the super comes really fast. And it's really interesting because normally we don't see that. He went for the cactus, so he needs a bit of defender against the Mina.
Against good players, even, you can catch them off guard with Fertilize because you know that they're going to be expecting that curveball. Here comes a move forward from Pekka, tried to dribble it. It's thrown away by Wesley, and Prosy sends it further down the field. It's only Christian now at the middle of the field trying to hold things down solo. Knows that he's going to have to back up and isn't even offered the chance to do it himself. Now the Meeple's Mansion is down. Prosy is attempting to make a solo play. What is this man doing? 1-2 shots, has a gadget to restore, opts not to use it. Instead, the ball comes over to the right side where it's passed to Christian instead.
Yeah, Prosy tried to score a goal alone. I think it's not the best idea, especially because if you don't, you pass them the ball. That would what happen. So maybe it's not the best, but this is going to be a goal.
Just like that, game in the books for NHG. And wow, to see them come back after set number 2 with such a fire behind their eyes is really impressive. It goes to show you that these guys got to be respected as competitors, even though they kind of came in as unknowns also.
Yeah, I mean, they prove that they came to win, right? They are not just qualifying was not enough, and they need to put everything to win this because it's not going to be an easy match for them.
Well, I hope we get to ask them at some point whether they planned out their drafts ahead of time. Christian with a breakaway. It was completely open, and NHG couldn't catch up. That was a free goal that Skcalalas hardly had to earn at all. They had one brawler v2, but the left side was undefended. This time, Pekka's going to try and weaken that left side once more. They have that initial mid control. This is the platform, a springboard, if you will, to throw this one in again, and I just can't believe it. No! Whiffed off the side. That was a free goal once again.
Yeah, I mean, in this Brawl Star that we have now, that we have so many hypercharge, so many jumps, it's really important to have the control of the ball. So it's really important to know if your right lane is dying or your left is dying to put the ball in the opposite side. So having the ball control is really important, like we are seeing now.
Back and forth, this one right here. It's SKC taking game number 2. One more left. Both of these games so far have gone by so quickly. It's the aggression from SKC. It's like they lean forward in their gaming chairs a little bit, you know, assume that victory stance, and now they know what to do. They've hammered down this left lane twice in a row. NHG cannot let that happen again.
I think they're putting so much resources of winning the mid game, the mid at the early game, that when they don't win it, they are so behind, right?
Yeah.
So if you are winning every ballet, every ability on winning, and you don't win it, means that either you die or either you have no ballets or no ability. So the counter push is going to be hard.
Well, still waiting to see who makes the first move. We'll see the double stack on the right side. It's responded to by SKC, but Pekka's pretty low. Has to rotate backwards. A super forward for Christian that doesn't really go anywhere. Earns him a bit of hypercharge and nothing more. Prosy with a big move. Baits out that gadget from Pekka, but it's pretty much a stalemate. Gets stuck on the right side between a rock and a hard place. RHZ and Pekka combined forces to take him down, and he was the last bastion of defense for NHG at mid. The control goes back to SKC.
I think they are fighting, like giving each other the control too fast, right? They need to get the control now, chill a bit. Look, they got the control and they already lost it. So they really need to work on not losing the control after this. Worked so hard to get it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, they're playing so safe. I think both opponents respect each other a lot now, which is interesting to say for SKC, considering they ought to be in the driver's seat for this match. It's goal number 1 for them. Who gets that initial mid control? Gadget's flying down. RXZ bumped out of the way just a little bit. Hypercharge now for Christian, going straight for Winona. Now Prosy has to throw down that super solo on the right side. Actually has a move here. That dagger can't catch up. It's an open goal, and we're tied.
Yeah, I love it. It's all about pushing and counter-pushing, right?
Yeah.
You're wasting everything to come on me, and now I need to use the less amount of resources to stop you, and then I can do the counter-pushes. Really, really good what this team are doing right now.
Some hard commitments also on particular areas of the map that are just drawing them away from the left or the right side and leaving the goal open for someone to pretty much just walk it in. Hypercharge from Winona. RHZ is getting caught over here on the left side. It's a hypercharge for Prosy, getting a little bit desperate. Also, Wesley thrown into the air. Pass from Winona to Wesley would have been good if Christian weren't now respawning. It's like you said, Pedro, they're just being very respectful of each other, not really overcommitting now. Being a bit hasty also on some of the withdrawals, but now it's headed to overtime unless we see a score in the next 10 seconds.
Oh, they hit the back there.
Huh?
Oh. What is happening?
I can't believe it! Prosy could have dashed and gotten that, or rather Mina could have dashed and gotten that. Instead, it was a wide open goal left for the other team, and I'm just blown away. I can't believe that happened. A car crash at the goal line.
I think by mistake he grabbed the ball and walked into his own goal, and then you drop it, right? So NSG was really fast there to use that mistake to get the goal.
I would love to see that in the replay. Please show us that moment once more. And with that, NSG actually takes the set. That is incredible. A huge mistake here from Skcalalas. And that seems to be a theme that continues. Loud didn't really have the best of days today. Skcalalas with a fumble like this one. What's going on, Reddy?
Look at that right there. Pekka got it, but it bounced on the goal line, and he kind of wandered around before he went back to pick it up.
Yeah, I think when you die, the ball drops randomly a bit, and they were like he went to the left side instead of the one that was defended.
That is also true.
So Pedro, do you feel like it's SKC not playing as well as they might have last year, or is it actually New Height Gaming who are just really, really good today?
I think New Height Gaming is bringing some new strat to the table that maybe Skcalalas didn't expect, and it's working, right? They have this a bit weird comp that is really important to play as a team, and they are doing it really good.
Reddy, what do you feel like? Is it the draft? Is it mechanics, communication? One of these things it has to be, right?
I think we can just kind of assume that communication is going to be good between New Heights Gaming, this pretty scrappy gang of people, Prosy leading the team as well. In terms of draft, I've been really impressed by their draft. I think they've outdrafted SKC a couple of times. They looked, not so confident in their very first match, their quarterfinal. In fact, interestingly, they're performing better against SKC than they did in their quarterfinal. And then just in terms of mechanics, I think that, there have been mistakes. But again, like SKC has made some pretty crucial mistakes here. I'd said the same for their quarterfinals opponent as well.
In East Asia, we had a couple of teams not even making it through the quarters that we expected. In the end, Zeta Division came out on top, and that was kind of what everybody thought would happen. Then in EMEA, we had a completely new winner. Gassi, in his first ever monthly final performance, he immediately wins it all. That was a huge success for them. And now in this region, once again, we have a few teams that make it through the semifinals that we might not have expected. Loud, I would love to see the actual stats, but I assume like 99% over at the website as well had them as the winners of it all. It would be so fun to have two completely new teams in the finals now.
Yeah, I think we can basically have players that have never competed in a grand final to be there, right, to win it. So yeah, I mean, we are getting a lot of surprises today. I still hope that SKC can still get to the last set, right? So we can have a bit more of Brawl. But I mean, yeah, it's always good. Always good to have these teams coming out.
So yeah, what we learned today, never not expect the unexpected. Eternal can make it through the finals. Pedro can actually cast, and Reddy looks very stylish.
Oh, I like that we didn't have anything unexpected or like. Well, actually, I should just take that compliment. I'm not very good at taking compliments, folks, as you can tell. But that's half the job as well. I wonder if I can get some predictions right, though. I wasn't right on that. Well, yeah, that's an important part of the job. Yeah, evidently not. I couldn't predict Eternal apparently, and I seem to already be wrong about Loud. And we'll see if I'm incorrect about NHG as well.
After those first few sets, would you change your predictions now?
Yeah, I would. I expected a stronger showing from SKC, pretty much. I think we see them making mistakes, which I didn't really expect out of a team that was #2 in the region, also like won monthly finals last year. Now, it is a different roster as well. They've got a new coach, they've got a new player in Pekka on the squad, and I would just generally say my expectations were a little bit higher for these guys, at a point where I'm not really willing to say that I think they'll do better in the grand finals. You know, I don't. Draft is a big part of it, but I think the mechanics, like some little mistakes there, like dropping the ball on the goal line, was a big one for me.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 2 more sets to go, right? We still have maps that will go there to the maps, but map that can really be helpful to have this strange comp. But then we have the last shooting star that for me is the map where you can more play the all stylish comp. So if we get to the last set, I think Skcalalas can still get it.
Yeah, I think for Shooting Star, it's one of those maps where there's like a handful of comps to play. Either you go aggressive or you play Tick in mid. Piper, Tick, Nani used to be the only comp that you would ever see on this map when we didn't even have draft in the game. First up though, double swoosh. And this could actually be very well our last set of this matchup if New Heights Gaming takes it. Bans are already in here. Meeple, Mina and Frank band out on the left-hand side. Crow, Ems and Terra on the right side. Otis is going to be picked up here as one of those mid-range brawler that's just super good against tanks. A very solid first pick in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Otis is obviously I would say even the safest in this map, but you can also combine it with a Crow, with his ban, so you cannot combine it with that. But we can expect anti-tank was going to say either Shelly or Spike. We can see the Spike, probably we're going to see the Shelly later on.
Chester
As
could work.
a hard commitment, yeah.
We could see from Skcalalas they train a lot the Penny. The good comp, you need a special draft for her, but yeah, they also play the Macy as anti-tank. And with Shelly open maybe not need, but if you want a bit of range plus an anti-tank, maybe we can see that.
Okay, yeah. How were you thinking that? Yeah.
What?
Did someone like misclick? Am I seeing that right?
The special comp?
Yeah, that was what we were expecting. Not that special, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's straight up bizarre. I feel like this one's going to become much clearer with that last pick. Right now, that's surely thrown SKC off balance. They have to make a decision whether they're just going to ignore, keep the blinders on, focus on what they want, or whether they're going to play reactively into this Hank. We'll see the Mortis make an appearance. Mortis, yeah, thumbs up for me as well. Just great brawler overall, especially because you can get so much damage churned out in a short amount of time. You can use the Bats gadget. You can use the one for the combo spinner if you want to confirm kills, and you chain hypercharges as long as you keep that aggression up and running constantly. But beware of the Hank. You will get one shot.
Yeah, I mean, if your dash finish exactly on top of the Hank, you are completely cooked with the Mortis. So you need to either dash really far away or just run away of the Hank. But yeah, we see that makes it really good for the Hank because you are a good anti-tank and also you can respect the range of the Hank. So Macy can be really good. The bushes can be a problem for her, but in the 1v1 she should be pretty good.
I would almost assume Maisie is going to be the gem carrier on the right-hand side. We now have Finks doing just that. I do like it. I don't know how good it's actually going to be against the Mortis. You can teleport yourself out of the way with a gadget, but you only have that ever so often. And the Mortis isn't really going to care about his shots getting slowed down by the Finks zone. So the super from Finks, the reason why he's so good on a map like Hot Zone, Ring of Fire, it doesn't really help him at all against that Mortis.
I will say the escape is really important. That's why you would call him a tank counter, is because he basically has 6 shots that are going to all line up when he's in close range. I think it's going to be pretty important that he can teleport away, given that the cooldown pretty closely aligns with how frequently Mortis would be respawned. Look at Pekka! Holy latency right there. He is sweeping everyone up with that Saber. And the backlines have been destroyed. He is wise to avoid Wesley. He's moving so quickly that I really don't think they'll be able to keep up. Had that super, but dashed in an odd direction where he couldn't chain the bats.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking about the 6 shot of things when we have a Hank Jane grabber on double square, right? I don't know how they turn the game around, but yeah, I think once they get this spot, things have a really nice pressure here. It's going to be really hard to kick him out.
And just like that, yeah, they have a sixth sense that allows them to zero in on the position of someone who's in the bushes. That's just shocking right there. That was legendary from RHZ, who undoubtedly has vision gear on, so that certainly helps as well. Looking at New Heights Gaming so far, they've got 7 gems under their belt. The right lane locked down. Wesley is alive and healthy with this super. Pekka's just going to try and dip him on the delay right here. That's the combo spinner that he needed. No bats required. Another one, even getting greedy and going in for the gems. I can't believe it. And Prosy has no response.
Yeah, now that I see, it's really interesting to have that hand with the gem, right? Because Mortis can really kill you. And you can kill the Mortis and start, like, the reverse is happening. But I mean, the Hank is really interesting pick.
10 seconds to go, RHZ needs to get this hypercharge onto Winona on the right side. Pekka is the only one in range, 5 seconds to go. Now Winona's in the corner. RHZ with a Hail Mary, can't get it. That's enough from Winona to lock down the game. And I just can't believe it that Hank is doing this.
Yeah.
They're at match point.
Match point for the underdogs once again today. Like, the Hank is working insanely good. Just the first, like, 10 seconds, I think, that he suffered a bit, then was crazy, even though when he got killed, he do enough damage so the allies can come back and help you to get the gems back. So it's insane.
One of the things you're concerned about as Mortis is that you're going to feed the enemy because you know you're going to be dying so frequently, and you just cannot afford to feed Hank. Look at Pekka, just hanging on by a thread, but think of all the damage that he just gave to Hank for his hypercharge and for his super later on that he's going to use in response to Mortis.
Yeah, you can kill the Hank until he gets super, right? And after the first interaction, you are pretty much cooked.
And you just saw that. The bait as well. Pekka decided to go for a little drive-by and baited the super. Now Hank's going to have to work for that all over again. And thus the mind games begin. Is Mortis really going to commit on me? That is now SKC's weapon.
Yeah, you need to try to dash maybe into him, but go far away.
Yeah.
Really fast. So maybe even if he use the super and heal up, you don't get killed, right? So you can keep the pressure so Christian can still get the gems on the mid.
We'll see if Pekka's going to try the same trick again. Maybe Winona can be fooled twice. Wesley on the right side throws down the super. It's an exchange. That's all it really is. And probably actually went better for Pekka because he's closer to his hypercharge now. We don't see a Fig super in sight. That was a pretty good gem carrier takedown that's going to exchange them onto Prosy, which is fine. He's not as safe against Mortis, but he's not really an aggro brawler either.
Yeah, and now Pekka knows exactly what's his focus, right? His focus is to kill Prosy or grab those gems.
Oh, goodness, and a big TP. Look at that. Safe and sound to the back lines, and we might just witness a complete upset. 10 seconds to go. Pekka has some dashes, but he doesn't have the HP. Now down to 7. That's a spike super. Now 5 seconds. Pekka, his best attempts are not good enough, and New Heights Gaming have truly redeemed their name here. A grand finals upcoming for this team that repeatedly has failed to make it through the quarterfinals. Now with Prosy in command, they're going to the ultimate challenge in South America.
Like, what is happening today?
I don't know, man. Are we in the upside down? Like, what's happening?
I don't know. Like we could feel those underdog teams really proving, not only in new draft, also in strategy. Like, they're playing really good, knowing how the game is about. How it seems like they have tried the Hank or trained the Hank so much, right?
Do you remember March monthly finals last year? It was the Barry Frank meta, and it was just unbeatable. And you saw all these teams that sort of appeared to be really, really strong that month and then sort of faded into obscurity for the rest of the year. I don't think this is one of those. I don't think, can we really point our fingers at the meta and say, like, well, it's Buffy's fault?
New Heights Gaming is making it to the grand finals with a very good match to end things off here on Double Swoosh. Love to see that. Hank coming in, the Finks as well. Two brawlers we haven't seen too often